Hello everybody and welcome to the Coco Beach Bar Championship in association with Jack Ashton Racing. It's time for round 5, races 9 and 10 of the series here from Lime Rock Park. We've got many different options for this circuit, by the way, because there's about 3 chicanes. We're using the uphill chicane, which is the one that is used in most motor racing around here. So there will be a short interruption to the very flowing, otherwise flowing racetrack here at Lime Rock Park. It is again myself, Ian O'Leary, and James Parfitt along with me for this round. And, well, I would prefer no chicanes, but that's fine. I guess it creates an extra overtaking opportunity, and every driver in this field is going to be very used to this circuit because the MX-5 at Lime Rock Park is probably the first race that many of these people, and indeed everyone who's got iRacing, did in their careers.
You are right, but yes, I agree. I prefer no chicanes also. But there you go. Can't do anything about that. I would have loved to have seen them go round fast and flowing on this one. But let's bring up the grid for race number 1.
Tommy Patero is taking pole position with just over a minute lap time. Joel Singleton alongside with Matt Warner and Valdez Francevius on row 2. Then it's George Metakos and Gaetano Cesare in 6th place. Eric Orchin and Yanis Theophanopoulos is in 8th. Then it's Jerry Werner and Jeremy Hall running at the top 10. Then just over a second back is Dean Sargent with Ben Gregory alongside him. 13th is Steve Webb with Darren Nunn in 14th. Jimmy Engin is in 15th. Then Nicholas Green with Graham Matthew and Wood and Pekovic rounding out the 18-car field. That Pekovic there didn't set a time, and at the moment he's not on the grid either, so he might well not be getting underway here. But we're about to get racing for the first time this afternoon, and it should be a very interesting run down towards turn 1.
Yeah, Big Bend. Oh, dude, this I love this corner because you can take there's 2 different lines as well that you can get hold of. So you can either really bring it in tight or let it drift out wide and take that late apex in. I'm going to be interested to see how these guys handle this because I've also seen a lot of things happen where they go shooting off in a different direction. So, could be an interesting one.
It could be. I'm sure many of us who have played iRacing have experienced those kind of things at this circuit. It is very, very difficult indeed, but these drivers are ready and raring to go. The lights are about to come on for race 9 of the Coco Beach Bar Championship here from Lime Rock Park, and we are underway. Tommy Patero off to a good start. A great launch in the background there from Green, who's up the order already, up to 13th place. But it's Patero who takes the lead in towards turn 1, ahead of Joel Singleton. Then Valdez Francevius has got ahead of Warner into 3rd place. Then it's George Metakos who's into 5th ahead of Eric Orchin in 6th place. He's up 1 place as well. It's a clean start though through the first corner for the first time.
Yeah, Singleton. No, he didn't get that right. Warner's held it on. He managed to keep hold of it. Now, I do want to point out there was 2 jump starts out of that. Jimmy Newen, I believe Graham Matthews has also maybe possibly jumped the start. So I would expect a couple of people to come in at the end of this lap. There was movement on the grid from the back left-hand side of the grid, and I would expect some people to start coming in, and there was a big one there for Eric Orchin.
Very big crash out of the chicane on the uphill. That was big. Let's see if he got help. It doesn't look like it. He's going to bobble over this curb on the right here. There you go. And bang, straight into the wall. Have a look at that. And thankfully he doesn't bounce himself back onto the racetrack to be collected by everybody else, because he very much could have done. Valdez Francevius, by the way, is gathering himself up after his very near spin at turn 3, which is called the left-hander. You can tell why. He's down to 6th place, but he did gain that 1 place from Eric Orchin when he had that crash, and you can see already that he's looking to gain some of these places back again. He's done it again! It's like watching a replay. That's exactly what he did on the opening lap, and he's done it again, Valdez Francevius. He's got Theophanopoulos now down his inside, and he's down to 7th again.
Well, yeah. They say that he don't make the same mistake twice. Unfortunately, he did. This chicane here is very difficult. They've got to get it hooked up and get it straight up there. Then you're going to go up the hill a little bit, and then you're going to run down here as well. But I think that's the problem with that corner. If you take it too tight, you're going to hit the curb, and it could end up doing what Vinicius has done here, and unfortunately caused himself some bit of issues. But there's a little battle of packets happening back here with Dean Sargent, Green, Gregory and Hall as they're continuing to fight out once more.
Werner's just dropped down the order, by the way, as well. So we'll look back at that in a moment. But this is the battle for 8th place. 3 wide! Oh, my goodness! That was never going to work. A big squeeze as Green tried to get himself down the inside. Dean Sargent prevails. Ben Gregory is the one who spins into the access road on the turn 1 there. And I'm afraid that was always going to happen. And there's been a big smash on the exit as well. Nicholas Green it was who was up down the inside of 3 wide. It was a big squeeze. There is space just about, but they couldn't quite make it work. Then Gregory ends up spinning around. Nicholas Green ends up in the grass. He gets back onto the circuit, stops right in the path of somebody there. I'm not sure why, but that's a lot of damage down there at turn number 1. And back to the pit lane for Nicholas Green.
Yeah, David Nunn and Jerry Werner. So Darren Nunn was the one that also got hit there. The orange, I believe it's the orange car, yep, smashed up front end on that one. And unfortunately for him, he is in pit lane as well. The problem is I don't think he can hold the rejoin, and he hit the brakes as soon as he got back onto the track. Unfortunately, it just positioned him right in the middle of the circuit.
Not ideal, not a great place to find yourself. But there you go. Vanderplas, meanwhile, it's off. I thought he was just applying the pressure to Vadis Vantivius there, but not quite. He's finding himself with an off-track there, I would expect. Through turn 4. This is the right-hander. That's actually what it's called. Then down the no-name straight and into the uphill chicane, which is a little bit awkward, but it does provide an overtaking chance where you wouldn't otherwise get one at turn 5, because it is a flowing corner otherwise, and you've got a real challenge over the crest here as well when you're going at speed, but not in this layout. This is Jeremy Hall on the back of Graham Matthew. Doesn't seem that Matthew has been in the pit lane, so either he didn't get a penalty or he hasn't served it yet.
Yeah, there was movement. So if we have a look at the start, keep an eye on the back left, green and the orange. There's one move, there's the other move. See them both?
Yeah.
So they did that as the lights come on. So I think it was Jimmy Newen and possibly Stephen Webb may have copped penalties on that one.
That would line up with where they started. It's always very difficult when you are behind somebody who goes early. Your instinct is to go as well. It's almost subconscious. And unfortunately, that's what happened there. Joe Singleton's got a bit of an advantage now over Warner, as there was lap traffic there for the UK and Ireland driver. And so Singleton will race away. Not sure who that is, but it's going to be a very busy racetrack. All of the, 17 of the starters, Petkovic didn't start, but all 17 of the starters are still out on the circuit, and it's a pretty short circuit as well, so lap traffic could be a problem, although they've got a long period of clear space up ahead of them now, so they will enjoy that as we go on board with Gaetano Cesari, the Canadian, on the back of George Metakos in 4th place. He's still had fairly quiet races so far, and they've moved up the order as a result. Just over 9 minutes to go though, and they're now battling on the circuit for 4th position, with that lapped car just up ahead of them as well.
Yeah, I think for these guys, they've gone around and just done what they needed to do. That's Orchard further up the road, of course. They've just kind of gone about their business. They haven't got anything, haven't got involved in anything. They've stayed out the way of everything, and they're reaping the rewards. They're 4th and 5th. Graham Matthews, however, is up 8 places, the biggest gainer in the whole race here as well. Sam Katakazinos is in YouTube chat.
Welcome along.
Spells his name out.
Thank you for that. Commentated on him on Tuesday morning, as it was for us. Tuesday evening for him. You said you commentated on him before, which helped. Hopefully we got his name somewhat close to correctly on Tuesday.
It sounded right. It would be fine. I'm sure Sam's. I haven't had a DM from Sam yet, so I know I'm all good. You know what I mean? It's normally when I get a DM from Sam, I've done something wrong. So I haven't had a DM from him, so I'm all right. We've done well.
We've got away with it for this time. Graham Matthew, meanwhile, he's their biggest mover forwards. Might be about to move backwards, I'm afraid, because Jeremy Hall is right on the back of him here for 9th. As they approach the halfway mark of this race, just over 7.5 minutes of this first 15 minutes to go. In case you've not seen this series before, we'll be getting a full reverse grid second race coming up next with another 15 minutes on the clock. That's Jeremy Hall going wide though, and that's a gift for Matthew, who will get a bit of breathing space. Speaking of gifts, George Metakos has, I think made a mistake out the final corner and then been overtaken into turn one, because he's now down to 5th. Oh no, he didn't give it up exactly. It was a good pass from Cesare by the looks of things here, who got himself on a very tight body. Look at that. That's bravery on the brakes, but he's made it work, and he's up to 4th place.
It's almost a breathe-in, lad. that was one. He looked for the slightest little gap there that he can possibly ever find for Metakos, and managed to make it through. Cesare, and managed to make it through over Metakos and Valdez. So Valdez now going to try and come forward over Metakos as well. And we'll see how these three plan out. But you are right, Tommy Patero out in front by a minute. Metakos for the win. So couldn't race today, but I'm loving the live broadcast, says Andrew Ogilvy. And Sam, I saw the broadcast, made me giggle. There we go.
Well, there we go.
That was on your attempt of his name, I believe, as well.
Oh, thanks.
That's okay.
Yeah. I expect these things. We go on board meanwhile with Valdez Vancevius here. He's got, I like his helmet design, by the way, with his country's flag all over. Now he's going to be having a look at George Metakos, I think, as he looks up the inside. Oh, careful. That was a squeeze. It was going to be a really big squeeze to get down the inside there for the chicane, and he's not managed it. Metakos is going to be under pressure again, though, in towards the next corner. This is turn 6 at the West Bend. Now just missing the apex slightly there, but they're both off the circuit, slightly into the grass. Now into the final corner here, really committed, nearly flat out, but Metakos goes a little bit wide, and this could give Vancevius the chance, as there's quite a long front straight here at Lime Rock Park, and quite a big braking zone as well, as Cesare proved earlier. He's going to have a look at the inside of Vancevius. Oh, that was nearly like watching a replay of Cesare going through on Metakos. Vancevius tried to do exactly the same thing.
Yeah, but Metakos shut the door. He knew that was coming. He physically shut the door on him there and said, nope, I've been here before, I got done on the last one. But I tell you one thing, Valdez now is he's got Metakos on the ropes. He's just got to go in for that final knockout blow and get that car past him. Again, you can't really do it through this section. He's got to try and get the run uphill now and try and get it through the right-hander if he can.
This run was almost too good up the hill. Have a look at this. He's going to go down the inside, maybe into West Bend. And Metakos is going to give him the space, but he's got a nicer, smoother line on the outside line. So he retains 5th place for now. Through the final corner they go. On to the front straight. Here goes Vancevius again. He'll be in the slipstream. He'll be gaining on the front straight here. He might have another look down the inside, but he's not close enough this time round. And the pressure continues to build on George Metakos.
Yeah, he's got to look at taking it somewhere. He's got to get a different line. Try and tighten that up, push him wide, see if he can get up the inside. He can't do it there, so he's going to have to hold on. Tighten up the inside line, tighten up the inside line. He should get the run coming out because he's on the better racing line. He's going to be alongside him. How are these guys going to tackle that down into the right-hander, into the uphill chicane? Well, we're going to find out. He's gonna get no!
It's gone wrong. They've both gone, and Vancevius goes spinning around. The two of them were colliding on the way towards the uphill chicane, and unfortunately they've collided for good. Now he's going to take the normal route, and he'll be back on the circuit shortly. Look at this. They were bumping and barging down the straight. He was trying to close the door, Vancevius. Metakos wasn't having it. He went down the inside, and they both end up colliding.
That was, I've got to be honest. Metakos, yeah, you were too far back to make that move when he got past you. That's a long way back. No way he should have even attempted that. He should have just accepted it. But then he goes in and takes 2 bites of a cherry at him. Then Graham Matthews and Jerry Hall have also had a little bit of a ding-dong behind that. So, yeah, I think it might have had something to do with the car that may be still there. No, the car is... Oh, no, he spun.
Oh, no.
And then Matthews just hit him.
Oh, that's a real shame for Graham Matthew. He was moving through the field very quickly there. He's still going, by the way, Graham Matthew, but I think his car's quite damaged. Metakos got a bit of damage as well on the front end. I will say, by the way, and these two are, sorry, Sargent on the back of Metakos. I will say, by the way, as much as Metakos was coming from a long way back, But Sevius did move in the braking zone as well. So I'm not sure either of them painting themselves in glory there in that exchange at the chicane. And unfortunately, just afterwards, Hall and Matthew are going to drop to the back of the field after their crash. Matthew has tried to persevere with the damage, but he's not been able to. And he's now in pit lane. Here comes Dean Sargent, who's picked up places through other people's incidents loads this afternoon, and he's having another look on the outside line at 6th place, and he couldn't quite do it on that occasion on George Metakos.
Yeah, Metakos has got to be careful. He's moving so late, and he needs to get that defensive move done early. And I can't remember if it was him last time, but there was somebody doing the same thing, I remember, if I remember correctly. And they're moving late. It's almost Verstappen-esque. He'll come over and cover him really late. He needs to make that committed early, because Sargent then, if he hadn't lifted, he would have literally just torpedoed him off. So for Metakos, he's got to make it a little bit earlier on the move. We're going to have one more after this, I believe.
I think we'll have 15 laps, or whatever that means. So yeah, one after this.
Yeah, one and one more.
He's been caught, by the way, by Joe Singleton. We haven't really been looking at the leaders because not much has been going on, because Tommy Patero got off to a great start, to a big lead, but all of a sudden it's gone, and he's under pressure. He's clearly feeling the pressure as well, because Joe Singleton has almost forced him off the road there. Now he's defending into the chicane. We're going to have a very, very breathless final lap by the looks of things here.
Here we go. Patero's he can't crack me. I tell you what, he needs to be a hard-boiled egg, not a soft one, because otherwise he is just going to be dipped in soldiers by Singleton, because Singleton's going to come at him now, and he's going to come at him like an absolute rapid rate of knots. He's going to go straight after him, and this is where the draft's going to kick in. And you can see at the moment the draft's kind of stagnant, but as soon as he starts breaking in, there you go. Now we're decreasing it back down. 4.5 temps coming down as well. Patero's definitely feeling it. He's just got to hold it. Don't forget, he had like a second lead at one point.
Yeah, 2 seconds. Yeah, it was a big lead, but it's evaporated here for Tommy Patero, and he might well just hold on, but it's not going to be by much. Joe Singleton is right on the back of him here. He just needs to keep it on the island. He's kept it on through the right hander this time round, which is more than could be said for lap number 14. Now down on the brakes, Singleton's on the grass almost, trying to maximise his entry here. Got to get the exit up the hill. He is gaining. He's just tipped under half a second behind Tommy Patero, and he is closing with every corner, but he's just going to run out of them by the looks of things. Time now elapses, 15 laps now complete, and in race 9 of the Coco Beach Sport Championship here at Lime Rock Park, it's going to be Tommy Patero who hangs on, does he? By a small margin, he weaves himself over the line. By 1/4 of a second, he takes the win over Joe Singleton.
Yeah, this is the Metakos Sargent battle. Oh, Sargent's just got to literally carry as much as he can now around his final part. That line is quite far down. I don't think he's going to be close enough. That's not ideal. Just keep going. There we go, unfortunately.
Didn't quite get there.
Nope.
And same story here, Steve Webb on the back of Ben Gregory, who recovered from that spin at turn 1 to finish in 9th, but a few close finishes there over the line. Green and Nunn just making their way over the line as well, just under a second apart. But that was a good opening race of the afternoon, and we're about to do it all over again, but with the field tipped on its head. Going to be very, very interesting to watch. Good afternoon to Ian Knox, by the way, who also couldn't make it today, but is enjoying the broadcast. Thanks very much for that. And hopefully we'll see you at the final round next week, which is at Okayama, by the way. Same time, same place here on this channel. Let's have a look at the race results, which is also basically the starting grid, but in reverse for the next race. Tommy Patero hangs on from Joel Singleton, ahead of Matt Warner as well, who is closing in towards the end. Gaetano Cesare gets into 4th, ahead of Yanis Fiafanopoulos. George Metakos after that incident at the chicane is down to 6th, ahead of Dean Sargent, who picked up the pieces of a lot of incidents during that race. Faris Vansevius was one of them. He finished in 8th. Ben Gregory also had one. He finished 9th, just ahead of Steve Webb, with Jimmy and Wynn finalising those who finished on the lead lap. Eric Orchin, Nicholas Green, Darren Nunn, Jerry Verner, Graham Matthew finished didn't finish in the pit lane, sorry, but they did fit it at some point. Jeremy Hall retired quite late on in that race. It doesn't look like Petkovic is going to get onto the grid, unfortunately, so there's going to be empty space in pole position. But Jeremy Hall is going to take the pole position here. He's had about 4 laps to just rest himself here ahead of this race because he didn't go back out onto the circuit again after his latest incident in which he was hit by Matthew after his spin. Let's see if he can hold on to the lead a bit better this time round as the two take the front row on the front here early on. The lights go out here at Lime Rock Park and we're underway for race 10, and it's a good start from Werner on the outside line from third place. He's alongside Matthew already. Nunn and Green go side by side just in behind as well as Hall gets away to a very good start here in towards turn 1. Do they all get through cleanly for the second race in a row? It was at turn 3 where things started to go wrong just a little bit. And it looks like we've all survived for the first time here as well.
Yeah, it looks like we've all got... Oh, no, we haven't.
Same story again. Same story again. The first 2 corners went fine. The third and fourth corners have gone very wrong. That was Jimmy Ewan in the green who went a little bit wide there. Look at this in the midfield right now. 3 wide. Down the inside goes Patero. What a great overtake that is. Up to 8th place. He makes a 3 wide move down the inside of Eric Orchin and Darren Nunn as well. Oh, it's a traffic jam. And Nunn and Cesare are going to be in the wall.
Oh, not great. It was the thing, it was like deja vu. We watched the first couple of corners, they all got through, and then 3, 4, 5, it just went all Pete Tong. And then before we know it, we've got people doing that. Where are you going? Oh!
My goodness, Ben Gregory, that's a huge accident. And he's blown his engine as well. That car's going nowhere. He's come back to pit lane. Oh, that's a huge accident. Have a look at this from on board. This is going to be quite violent. Through the final corner, he just bounces, bubbles over that first curb. He goes very wide. He tries to get the power down on the grass and he just slides through.
Bang.
Oh, that's speeding in the pit lane as well, by the way. He'll have all sorts of penalties and damage after that. He'll be a long way down. Tommy Patero, meanwhile, has gone off. Oh, Tommy Patero. He was on a great track maybe to get on the podium for the second time this afternoon, but he's had an accident down at turn 3 and 4.
Yep. Oh, there's the car there. There's the car. Oh. That was Stephen Webb, I think. Steve Webb, was it Webb and Warner? May have had their own little thing. There's going to be hardly any cars on this racetrack.
Further ahead.
He comes back on.
Oh no!
And then Patero has gone and hit him as well. Look at that, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, all in pit lane. And we've got cars going around with damage. At the same time, Tommy Patero being one of them, trying to hold that car. There's another move there over a Singleton and Orchin with Warner in behind him. Hall's still out in front with Werner. But this has been... Matthews has crashed. He's I don't even know where he is. Where are you, Graham? Are you still running? He is still running, but he's been crashed as well. Wow. I don't know.
Singleton and Warner, by the way, have both got pretty big damage on the front end. They've still got all their bodywork, but it's a bit dented. They've clearly been into the back of somebody, but maybe each other, to be honest. They've been 5th and 6th for a little while now. They're on the back of Eric Orchin here for 4th position, and Sewardton's having a run. Got the inside, that was never going to work at West End, and there's going to be a crash here for Warner. Oh, he's gone into the side of him. Oh, and there's been a hit at the top as well for Jimmy Ewan. It's gone straight into the side of Eric Orchin there.
Full moon or something? Have we been seeing something out here or what? What was going on for race 2? Poor old Jimmy Ewan had nowhere to go. There's a car there. Oh. Bang!
Goodness me.
That turned out to be witching hour. We've got literally one battle now. There's Jerry Hall and Jerry Werner. Unwin's in the pits. Half the field has been in the pits. The top. Ben Gregory's now had a crash. I really don't know what to say. The first time ever.
This is Gregory going off and just letting Singleton and Warner through, basically.
Then he's got that
and
awkward
spinning around.
spin. Yeah, that awkward spin.
He's on the way again, though. As meanwhile, Werner versus Hall is on for the race lead. Matthew versus Papadopoulos. Graham Matthews into the top 5 again here. After dropping back earlier on, he's now back inside the top 5, and he's making moves, although I think he's going to be back behind Yanis Papadopoulos in a short while. We'll see about that, but the American's coming up to the back of him very quickly here. He's just going on the defensive slightly there, Matthew, before taking the right-hander. Vanderplas will just close in into the top 5, and Matt goes on the brakes. He's going to be down the inside for Vanderplas. That's a good overtake, and he's up inside the top 5.
Yeah, Matthew had to brake on that exit. He ran on the grass, and that was it. Game over. As soon as you make that mistake, unfortunately, you're just a sitting duck to the guy behind, and Fia Vanderplas took the prime chance on that one. We have got a battle of a lap down. Oh, no, we ain't, because they've gone round.
Oh, no.
We did have Orchin in here with Jimmy Newen, and unfortunately Jimmy's gone and hit the curb, made a mistake, back end's gone round, and unfortunately that put the end to that battle. So that's not happening anymore, but we have got the front 2 who are coming close together, so that's always good. The leaders having a race. I don't want to refer to Ian Knox's message. It says, can't let Tommy have all the fun.
That's when, Tommy had just won a race and he looked like he was about to storm through and win this one as well.
Yeah, until we hit the cars.
Yeah.
Irony.
Yeah. I think you may have contributed to that, Ian, to be honest.
Yeah.
But there we go. He's down to 9th. He's just on the back of Dean Sargent, by the way. That should be a pretty easy overtake for the Finnish driver to make. And he'll be up to 8th after this, in towards turn 1. You'd imagine he'll be able to do this in the slipstream. He'll be late on the brakes down here at turn 1. Oh, well, that doesn't make it easier. But Sargent just a little bit earlier on the brakes. Patero goes through pretty easily. And so that is 8th place. But he'll be really frustrated with the way that his run came to an end, because I thought he had a great chance, actually, at winning both of the races here today.
Yep, I've got to be honest, I thought he did as well. But unfortunately, full moon kicked in. Everybody from 8 downwards has been in pit lane. We've got
half a field.
We've got more have been in pit lane than not. So,
yeah,
we go. Patero.
I think he's trying to unlap himself here, isn't he? From somebody.
He's not a lap down on any of these. Yeah, he is. Darren Nunn technically is Nunn. Yeah, who is that in front of him? Hold on.
Well, it's the number 2 guy. So he's putting a lap on somebody here.
Yeah, he's putting an extra lap on Metakos, I think. He goes through on the inside there. And Sargent's going to do the same thing. Yeah, for Metakos, he's down in 15th at the moment. But Warner and Jimmy Newen are back having a fight. These, of course, are a lap down. In fact, I think they're a couple of laps down. So, these guys are continuing to fight. Who have we got? Yeah, the laps down at the moment. Warner and Jimmy Newen continue to battle it out further down.
Good run here for Warner out the chicane. And unfortunately for him, the next corner is West Bend, which, as we all now know, after, I think it was Singleton, or was it Warner, with the contact with Orchin earlier on, we know that's not an overtaking place. Through the final corner for Matt Warner, and he's going to be having a look down the inside here in towards 13th place. And
he sent him outside.
The outside line instead. If he can hold it there, he'll be on the inside for 3, but he's not going to. And so, slightly bizarre choice to go to the outside.
I don't know if that was because there was uncertainty from Jimmy Newen or which way he was going to go. So Warner kind of had to make a choice. And he made that choice to go on the outside line. Again, I'm with you. I think it's a little bit weird to go that way. But if he had so much uncertainty that I don't think he knew which way to go. And unfortunately, that's where it ended up. But this is the closest battle on the racetrack at the moment. And it's for 13th and 14th. Everybody else is fairly spread out in front of us. Oh, no,
that's easy.
There we go.
And we made a mistake there, and that is an easy pass for Matt Warner to make. So with just over 6 minutes to go, Paul is leading the race by about 1.5 seconds over Werner, and might just have the measure of him. But Valtteri Sirius and also Joe Singleton are chasing them both down at the moment. So I don't think the battle for the race win is over just yet.
Do you reckon they got enough time?
Yeah, that's the only problem, isn't it?
They've got
the speed. Have they got the time?
It's got 3.7 to Jerry Hall. So can Valdez get there, or Joel even get there? Joel seems a little bit further. He's got 6.1 back from the leader. And we've only got 5 minutes, but we are only doing, a minute lap times. So we're going to have at least another five laps here. So, yeah, maybe. It depends how fast Jerry Hall can dispatch whoever that back marker is. That's Cesare in front of him. I'm hoping Cesare will just allow him through very quickly, so he doesn't have to fight too hard with him. But I don't know, Hall might be under pressure by the end here from one, and I don't know if he's going to be under pressure from Valdez, who's going to get Werner, and Valdez might move on to him. I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see how this one pans out.
Certainly is. I think it might well be second, and that's it here for Vancevius, and Singleton just be aiming at a podium maybe, so I think they will run out of time. But it looks like Jeremy Hall has done enough here to give himself a great chance of winning this race, and that would be a fantastic result for him if he could bounce back from his mistake in race 1 to win in race 2 from the pole effectively, because Petkovic didn't start. So a great result for Hall, but he has got chasers here. 5 laps to go as they start lap 11. And this is going to be the battle to the end of the race, quite possibly, or it might be over sooner than that. Jerry Werner trying to hold on here from Buzz Vancevius, who's in third, but he could be in second very quickly. He's already down the inside as Werner goes a little bit wide through turn 1 and 2. Vancevius has not particularly enjoyed turn 3 here this afternoon, but he's going around the outside here, and he might well find the inside for the next corner. He certainly does, and he's up to second place almost immediately. Yeah,
Werner kind of gave him the opportunity there, unfortunately, to get his nose alongside him. And then that led into Valdez just going through. Joel Singleton's now looking on the back of Werner. The only good thing for Hall is they were fighting for that brief moment, and that gap extended out to 4 seconds. He's still not cleared Cesare yet, but what I would do would be looking at using Cesare for the draft, or a little bit of the draft, or as much of the draft as you can grab down this front stretch. Now, you really want to hope that Cesare would look back and go, oh, that's the leader, I'm going to move. And slow down maybe a little bit, but no, unfortunately Singleton going up the inside of Werner, just down into turn 1. Singleton late on the brakes, absolutely buries it. So Valdez in second, Singleton third, and Jerry Hall trying to run away and clear Cesare here. He really does not need him to hold him up.
On board through the right-hander, Hall. So far he's not quite being held up yet. He's just in the in his sights, if you like, and the only thing he can be slowed down by is just, I guess, being distracted. But that's not really can't complain about that particularly. You'd think that Cesare will have the speed to stay away. If I look back to the previous race and where these two were, I think the driver ahead will be able to stay in front without getting in the way here, because I think he's quicker than Jeremy Hall. But Hall's going to just take a little bit of slipstream as well. He goes over line, 3 laps to go, 3.3 seconds. Vancevius needed to gain by a second a lap, effectively. He's barely got half a second there, and so this is getting very, very difficult now. In fact, he's going to be looking behind him more than he'll be looking ahead.
Yeah, you can see he didn't, he got 3.7 there. But you can see where Valdez was battling, overtaking Werner, because on lap 11, Hall pulled out 4 tenths. Now, if we go the other way with Singleton and Valdez, Singleton's been quicker for the last 8, 9, 10, and 11. Valdez was quicker on the last one for 12, but not enough at the moment. Hall has literally just got one job to do here. He needs that one, just bury every single corner, and 2, if Cesare has shown pace that he has been quicker than him, try and stay with him. Let him pull him along if he can. He's got 2 laps to go.
Let's see. Penultimate lap about to begin. Lap number 14. And Hall is closing in on a race victory here by the looks of things. Vancevius is closing in on a podium finish. Joe Singleton, same as well. As he finished second in the first race, can he finish second again in the second? It looks like he's going to have the final lap where he might have a chance or two to go through into second place. But other than that, he's going to run out of time as well.
Unfortunately, it does look like for Singleton, nobody's going to get Hall unless Hall makes some raging mistake about now. That's the thing. I think unless Hall makes a mistake, he could take this victory. He's up 1 place from where he was. Obviously a full reverse grid, so he started down towards the back end of race number 1, finished down towards the back end of race number 1, and basically led off the line. I think that's because Petrovic wasn't there. I think Hall took it from the beginning. Webb's had a couple of other dramas, unfortunately for him. He's dropped down, he's been involved in his own little things times here. But final lap now, and Jerry Hall just got to keep it. 2.7 seconds. Singleton, however, is putting Valdez under pressure.
Yeah, he is. But so far, the Lithuanian is not bowing to the pressure at the moment. He's very much still just taking his line, focusing forward rather than being distracted on what is behind him. So through the left-hander they go, opening up to the right-hander. Singleton closes in again, but this overtaking opportunity is going to pass him by at the uphill chicane as well. And it looks like he's going to just run out of chances here. He uses the curb on the left-hand side there to get a good run. He did a very good run, though, to be on the inside towards West Bend. And he's not quite got that. 2.3 seconds up to Jeremy Hall, who looks like he is going to take victory here ahead of these two. There he is into the final corner. Jeremy Hall from the front in race 2 is going to win here at Lime Rock Park. A great drive from him to hang on from the leaders who finished up towards the top in the opening race. Vancivius holds on to second, just ahead of Joel Singleton, who's the only driver tonight or this afternoon to finish on the podium in both races.
Yeah, done a great job for Joel. And now we've got the great job of picking driver of the day.
I don't know what he's doing down here.
I don't know, he just went straight on. Graham Matthews comes over the line. David Nunn is another one. There was somebody else going off the side of the circuit there. Tommy Patero's still got to come over and finish up as well. I'm just going to write down my 2 names that I think.
Okay, I'll laugh if we've got the same 2 names. But we'll get to that in a few moments. Tommy Patero weaves over the line. He was so close to a big day today. He did, of course, win race 1 impressively, but I've got to say, his 3-wide overtake before the uphill chicane on lap 1 was one of the most spectacular things we've seen this season. It's just unfortunate he didn't back that up with the rest of the race.
Yeah. But I think for Patero, he was just kind of unlucky, wasn't it? You know what I mean? He just was there, and then unfortunately they were there, and well, that was it. You can't do a lot about it. It was a little bit chaotic.
It's a real shame for him, but Jeremy Hall takes the win here by 2 seconds ahead of Valdes Vancivius with Joel Singleton rounding off the podium. Jerry Werner finishes 4th ahead of Yanis Fiafanopoulos. He got ahead of Graham Matthew towards the end of that race, with Darren Nunn 7th, then Tommy Patero, the first of those who pitted, so only 7 didn't. Gene Sargent was the last one to finish on the lead lap, with Nicholas Green finishing 10th ahead of Eric Orchin, who was also 1 lap down, with Matt Warner, Jimmy Ewan, George Metkos and Gaetano Cicero just finished ahead of the leader and outpaced him actually towards the end. Ben Gregory and Steve Webb were 2 laps down. Wilden Pekovic didn't start the race. I'll let you give me your names first. That was confusing, and then I'll see if I've got the same.
I've got Joel Singleton and Graham Matthews.
Oh, we've got the same. That's not helpful.
Oh,
I was going to go for those 2 as well.
Yeah,
so that's good.
I think Joel obviously for coming through the field, Graham for consistency finishing inside the top 10. I think Singleton's had it off us already. If I'm not mistaken.
Maybe. Let me just check.
Didn't he have it?
Because
did you write it down? Did you?
I didn't write it down, but I feel like I'm going to remember based on the circuits. We gave it to Warner, I think, at Matt Warner at Oulton Park. Tsukuba, I think we gave it to one of the Australians, but it was Ian, wasn't it? He was in the in the YouTube thing. I'm pretty sure we gave it to him. I'm not sure we have given it to Joel Singleton yet, unless we did last week.
Okay.
Which we may have done.
Hold on, I wrote it down somewhere. I must have done. Me surrounded in my race notes. All right, who do you think?
It's close, isn't it? I think the statistically correct thing to do would be to give it to Singleton, because he's the only driver who's finished on the podium in both races, and we haven't seen anybody do that very often this season at all, actually, never mind just today. But actually, we haven't seen it much this season. But Graham Matthews' race 1 was very impressive. Even though he did get caught up in an incident towards the end, I think it's fair to give it to Singleton, to be honest.
Okay, there you go. In the interview room for you.
Welcome, Joel. Congratulations. You've won our Driver of the Day award for Lime Rock Park. Just tell us a little bit about how your race was here this morning.
It was very good. I was just really trying to be consistent as much as possible, and just keep those lap times low. It's not a great track for passing, so it's I think just being consistent and staying up front gives you that opportunity.
You say it's not a great circuit for passing, but you did make a lot of them in
Yes,
race two,
yeah.
especially.
Yes,
You
I
got
think
in
it's
third. Just tell us a little bit about how you managed that.
at the beginning of the race, heat two. I just tried to stay near the back and just kind of stay out of traffic a little bit until everybody got settled in, and then just try to make my way to the front as I did. And like I said, just patient and being consistent as much as possible got me up there.
And are we going to be seeing you at Okayama next week? Or, do you like that?
Absolutely, I'll absolutely be there.
And what are your thoughts on the circuit before we go there?
One of my favorites. I spent a lot of time just practicing there myself, even with new cars. So very familiar with it, and um, yeah, that's it. It's just like I do. I like the track, and I think it'll be a good battle with everybody. Lots of drafting and a lot of passing opportunities with the hairpins that they have there.
Absolutely. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
No, just thanks for everybody who's part of the league. You know, it's fun. It's a good community. Thanks for Jack for putting this all on. So lots of fun, even though it is early in the morning for me at the East Coast, 7 a.m.
I was going to say 7 a.m. start on
Yeah,
a Sunday morning, but
that's right.
well done for getting up each and every week. We look forward to seeing you again next week. Congratulations on your drive here this morning, and thanks for coming to chat to us.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks very much. That's Joel Singleton there, the Driver of the Day winner for Lime Rock Park in the Coco Beach Bar Championship for races 9 and 10. One of the only drivers to finish on the podium twice and managed it at Lime Rock Park. And he's correct to say it's a difficult circuit to pass on, but he did manage it.
Yeah, he did. And I think it's that run out of the final couple of corners here. They're the pivotal corners for Lime Rock. Coming down that hill, that right-hander, you can get it right. If you can get that run down into turn one, you can make an overtake down into turn one. The rest of the wigglies, well, as we've seen, does get a little bit hairy.
Certainly does. But it was a good afternoon of racing. Very much hope you've enjoyed it. We will be back next week for the round at Okayama, which, as we talked about, is the final round of this championship season. And so we'll be back next week to award another Driver of the Day award at the end of the day. For now, though, from myself, Ian Leary and Judge Parfitt, it's goodbye from Lime Rock Park. We'll see you in 1 week's time for the final round of the Coco Beach Bar Championship at Okayama. Goodbye for now.